Hello everybody and welcome back. This is Harry from Keep It Real. Here's my Last of Us episode 9 and season recap of the show. Uh, Obviously, you've been keeping up with me for the last 8 weeks. This is the final episode and let me see, I forgot the name of it, of course. Uh, well, pretty good episode. If you guys played a game, it kind of took it right from the game, and no real surprises if you played it already. I didn't have no surprises. It's kind of cool to see, but I was hoping that they actually start out the episode a little bit differently, and they introduced Ashley Johnson, who was the voice actress for Ellie from the game, which is kind of cool. But if I thought that they would have done more of that stuff with the TV shows to keep this show going a little longer than just keep it for one season for part one, because now 9 episodes they already finished the game for part one, and if they're gonna do a season two for part two, I don't know how many people out there knows the story for part two, but I'm not gonna spoil it right now. But it's uh, it's pretty it let's just say this: it takes place a few years down the road, and things happen really fast. And I personally think the storyline for this part one is a lot better than part two, because part two, let me give you a little hint, but not give it away. It's more about vengeance, and should vengeance even be taking place. With that said, for a game, it's pretty awesome, because then you'll be going out there fighting a lot of enemies or whatnot. But for a TV show, it's gonna be tough. I'm not sure how they're gonna go around that, because you're gonna lose that human element as well, like the acting wise. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what will happen with that. Let's quick recap of what happened in this episode. This episode is the title is "Look for the Light," which is if you watch the first episode, it's from the Firefly slogan, to look for the light. They're supposed to be the Fireflies. They're supposed to be the saviors of the world. And this episode takes place probably about, I don't know. I think the last episode was in winter. Is supposed to take place in spring, so it's a few months down the road. And like I said, it started off with Ellie's mom. They brought Ashley Johnson back to play Ellie's mom right before she got bitten, and she gives birth to Ellie. I guess it's kind of nice, throw a homage in of bringing back Ashley Johnson's character, just to be in the show. I guess didn't really do much, really, but I guess it's just nice to have some the characters that we know from the game put into the show. I thought, like I said earlier, if they actually did more of that stuff, like some backstory, I know it'll drag. Some people won't like it, but it'll prolong the storyline. It could have been into part one. Could have been 2 seasons. They could have did a backstory line of Anna, the mother, Ellie's mother, how she was part of the Fireflies. They were trying to say that her and Marlena are close friends. They knew each other for since they were children. So they could have pushed that line too. But the way they played it, they literally took the whole part one of the game and made it into season one, 9 episodes. Very fast, very disappointed that it ended as fast. I was hoping, like I said, since the first review I did for the show, is that they would slow pace this and make it less, slow it down, make it a longer series. But I don't know, whatever. It worked no matter what. It did work. There was a scene. They finally got to. I guess they're in Kansas City now. They found the Fireflies headquarters, and there was just the Ellie's all bummed out because of the last episode. She almost got raped and whatnot, and she's still very quiet. She they they found an abandoned building. They took stuff from the game where Ellie climbs up on scaffoldings to bring down ladders for Joel to climb up. Uh, they they come up to a giraffe. This tech is straight from the game. It's like a little scene that makes Ellie start laughing, and you can see Joel is they're bonded. They're bonded very well now. Uh, Ellie is like totally Joel's pseudo daughter now, and he cares for her, and there's no way he's gonna let anything happen to her. He worries about her. He cares about her. Joel actually mentions to Ellie saying, maybe we don't need to do this. Let's just go back and just be happy. But Ellie wants to save the world. She wants everything to mean something, but she doesn't really understand also that what they what the Fireflies want and to save the world means something totally different. Because don't forget, earlier on, Ellie just thought that she'll just give some blood and then they'll find a cure from the blood. Well, we'll learn later when we learn very soon. Actually, it's a really pretty fast episode. The Fireflies actually capture both Ellie and Joel, and they find out that, well, Joel finds out. Take it from the game, exactly from the game. I'm sorry, I'm saying that a lot because this episode was exactly pulled from the game, which is it was cool in a lot of sense because this is actually my favorite part of the game. It's near the end, but it's this I like the gameplay in this part because you get to shoot a lot of people. So we learned that Marlene tells Joel that the only way to extract the cure from Ellie is to open up her brain. The cure is in her brain, and which means that if you take out her brain, she's dead. And there was no way Joel was going to let that happen. We knew this. They played up to it. Joel was already, you could tell he lost a daughter. There was no way he's going to lose another daughter. So he says, Marlene says, you can't stop this. And Joel says, you want to bet? And he did. He breaks out. He gets a gun. He kills every single Firefly there. He kills Marlene. Gets Ellie out, and they drive off, and Ellie doesn't even know because she was unconscious throughout most of the episode anyway, half of the episode, and she actually asked him what's going on, and Joel lies and says that they had other immune people there, and they're gonna stop finding a cure just to make her happy, because I guess to Ellie, it's that dilemma of what's that, the greater good. The greater good, the well-being of what's that saying? I can't remember what that saying is. It's to save many is better. Just it's one person insignificant if you could save multiple people. It's that the old Wrath the Khan thing. I can't remember the exact saying. The lives of many outweigh the life of one or the few, which is morally it's a good thing. Yes, her life is, if it means saving the world, it's a good thing, right? So I think Ellie, if you actually ask her, she would be willing to give up her life to save the world. But for Joel, who lost his daughter already, was not going to lose another daughter in his mind. So he made a choice. He selfishly made a choice, but he made a choice to save her, and that's how pretty much the show ended, and that's how the game ends for part one. So overall, it was taken from like I said, it was taken right from the game, and I liked this part of the game because near this part when there was no infected. There was one infected in the beginning that bit Anna, Ellie's mom, but it was nothing. The biggest thing is you see Joel go around the hospital and shooting up all the Fireflies, which is the best part of the game. They actually concentrated a lot more on the end of when on the operating table that Joel kills the doctor. That plays a big part in part two. Seems like they're gonna stick with the game again, and I'm gonna have a problem with that. But we'll talk about that when season 2 comes out. I don't want to spoil anything for people who have not played part 2, but that's my take on it. It was a good episode. Let me give a quick recap of the whole series. What my take on it. I enjoyed the series very much. I thought everything played out well. A lot of people had issues with a couple episodes about being woke and being too progressive, I guess. About the gay love. So, like episode 3 with the Bill and Frank gay love, the Ellie and Riley gay love. I'm like, give me a break. It's part of the story, part of the game. But I I didn't have a problem with it. No one should, but people that does have a problem with it, it's like part of the. It's like the moral of the show. When you come to the time where apocalyptic situation is happening, what is more important? Just to love someone, or to have a political agenda and have dislikes or hate or whatnot? It doesn't matter. Life is short. Love who you want to love. If the world's coming to an end tomorrow, be happy. Be happy for the moment. That's what Joel is doing right now. If you think about it, he'd rather be happy for the moment and save Ellie. Ellie's looking at the bigger picture because she's young. She'd rather try to save the world, which makes sense. Joel was being selfish, yes, but at this point in time in his life, I'm assuming his character should be about 50s, more or less, and he's been through a lot. So yeah, he deserves to be selfish at this point in time. And when it becomes apocalyptic time, things like that, it's gonna happen. This show, the one thing that I will have to say that I didn't like too much is that they did not use a lot of infected. There were very much infected people, so there were very little zombie-like creatures roaming around. There were a few episodes that had some, but they did not use it a lot. So this whole show was really about the human condition and how people treat one another and how people will react during a crisis situation, apocalyptic situations, like the cannibalism, raiders attacking your fellow man, trying to overpower your fellow man. And it kind of plays into real world too, because when those supposedly woke episodes came out, and how people lost their minds all over YouTube about the gay love situations in the story, and everybody in the world was flipping out over it. So it kind of played into the real world as well. So I thought this was a great show. I thought it was a good start to. Let's just say this: out of all the video game, movies, TV shows, or whatnot, this was true to the game, and it has substance. So it was very good. I loved this. This was a great show. And I don't know if there's going to be a season 2 or when it's going to be, but I think they did a great job. Good job, HBO Max. And, that's all. That's my last review for The Last of Us. And hopefully I get to do more of this. I don't know what other shows that I will do. If you have a suggestion, leave it in a comment down below. Give us a like, subscribe. Yeah, give me some suggestions down below. Maybe I'll do other shows if you like the content. If you don't, that's fine too. Just thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.